What do stress hormones have to do with your skin health? A lot. Hey everybody, I'm going a little DIY today because I'm at a retreat center and where I'm leading a retreat. And I don't have my usual setup, but I have ADHD. And when inspiration or motivation hits me, I like to dive in. And I felt a sense of clarity in explaining and teaching you the correlation between skin health and stress. You may have heard that skin health is related to hormones. And one of the kind of, I would say, most pervasive questions and confusions I've experienced myself and others who have suffered from acne and other kind of skin conditions is why, especially with acne, why do I have acne when I'm no longer in puberty? Why am I a middle-aged man or a middle-aged woman getting acne? What you want to understand is it's not the sex hormones themselves from puberty that creates acne or a skin condition. It's how those sex hormones overburden the liver. So it actually comes down to your liver health. And a healthy functioning liver can handle an increase in hormones for a certain period of time, especially a temporary period of time. Your liver's job is to filter your blood, is to take impurities and toxins out of the bloodstream so your body can detoxify it through your bowels and through your urine and even through your breathing, and of course sweating through the skin. However, when the liver is overburdened, it can't function and be as efficient as it would like to be, and that causes impurities and toxins to build up in the bloodstream, and those show themselves through your skin, whether it's a rash, or eczema, or psoriasis, or acne. Your skin is showing you how healthy your liver is, because when blood impurities build up due to an unhealthy or ineffective or sluggish liver, those impurities come out through your skin. So what does this have to do with stress hormones? Well, we know hormones during puberty and even menopause and even during PMS can cause acne because the level of sex hormones drastically increases. That overburdens the liver. And when the liver is overburdened trying to deal with those excessive amounts of hormones, it's unable to filter out everyday metabolic waste and impurities from your food and from your environment. However, there's another internal toxin, if you will, or something that can become toxic, and that happens to be adrenaline or stress hormones. When you have a stressful situation, when you have a traumatic event, when you're going through a lot of overwhelm, haven't gotten a lot of sleep, you go into what we call fight or flight response or stress response, which means your adrenals are pumping out adrenaline and cortisol. When you are consistently creating an excessive amount of adrenaline, your liver gets overburdened trying to break that down. This overburden of the liver will affect the way you digest food. It will affect your liver's ability to cleanse impurities from the bloodstream. It will affect your stomach lining and the health of your GI tract. And it can even affect your microbiome, which allows you to synthesize your food into nutrients, which means it can affect your absorption of nutrition, which can create a cascade of other effects. But the one I'm focusing on right now is skin health. Your stress hormones, when they build up and they chronically stay elevated due to lots of stress, PTSD, overwhelm, your liver will then be overburdened by trying to take care of those, and then it can't do its other job, most primary job being filter out other impurities in the bloodstream because it's so overburdened by the stress hormones. That means these impurities find their way to your skin and come out through your skin. Again, psoriasis, eczema, rashes, acne, I've seen all of it in myself and in my clients over the year. Increase during stressful times and decrease when stress goes away. So the advice tends to be, well, reduce your stress, go for walks, meditate, take up healthy breathing or a yoga practice. However, the issue with this is you can't always prevent life stress. You can't prevent a traffic jam. You can't prevent a financial issue. You can't prevent the sudden death of a friend or loved one. However, there's a whole other stressful experience in the body that doesn't come from anything external in the world, but from what you put in your body. And that's food-induced stress. Your food has the ability to increase the amount of stress hormones that your adrenal glands put out. Your food also has the ability to decrease those amount of hormones. So your food has the power of inducing a stress response, just like a traffic jam or a traffic accident or a death in the family could do in your body. So you might not be able to reduce the stress in your life right away. That takes a lot more time and patience, and really education. You have to learn many different ways and try them out and experiment to see what works for your body. But what you can learn how to do is avoid chronic stress based on your diet or chronic stress that comes from the food that you're eating. And the most important way to do that is to understand glucose spikes. When you have chronic glucose spikes due to the food that you eat or you don't eat, you're going to have chronic adrenal spikes. So you're going to have stress response all through the day. So having chronic glucose spikes means chronic stress response and chronic insulin response. And all of those things are hormones. Excess glucose really overwhelms the liver and causes the liver to become fatty and can actually slow down its ability to metabolize waste or break down waste from the body, as well as create the enzymes you need for food digestion. Excess insulin in the blood is another hormone that we make in response to these glucose spikes. Extra insulin is also something your liver has to deal with. And then the adrenal response that comes from that insulin, which tanks your blood sugar. And then the adrenaline is needed to actually release the stored blood sugar you have in your body to keep your body at a balance. That adrenaline is now another hormone your liver has to deal with. So glucose, insulin, adrenaline, excess levels of this, chronic stimulation of these glands and these hormones is also reducing the health of your liver. And when your liver is less healthy or slower or overwhelmed, you have more impurities in your blood, and then you have more skin issues. So when I say the easiest thing to do is understand glucose spikes, I'm going to break it down. 3 top things you can start doing right now that are going to help a lot. The first thing is reducing or eliminating sugar and refined carbohydrates. Eliminating sugar and refined carbohydrates eliminates or reduces many of the glucose spikes you're going to have throughout the day. The second thing is to reduce the amount of caffeine you drink, because every time you take in caffeine, you have an adrenal response, and adrenaline will cause your liver to give up glucose. So even though you're not taking sweets in, if you're just drinking straight up black coffee, the adrenal response can actually cause the stored glucose from the liver to go into the bloodstream. And then you can even have an insulin response to that, which is quite interesting. The other thing I recommend is make sure each meal has some kind of a green vegetable and some kind of protein, and then a complex carbohydrate. My favorite complex carbohydrates are beans because the soluble fiber in the beans helps to detoxify the liver so the liver can function better by cleaning out bile acids. But it also helps to reduce the metabolites that go into your bile from adrenaline when your liver filters it. So you lower your stress metabolites, which means you lower more stress from the body, and you increase the efficiency and effectiveness of your liver just by eating beans. A meal with beans and a protein and a green of your choice is one of the most balanced ways to eat and live to reduce those glucose spikes, increase liver health, and bring a lot of balance to your body. Myself and many people included that follow my protocol usually find 4 to 5 hours can go by before they're even super hungry, and their glucose levels are pretty stable, which you can monitor with the continuous glucose monitor. So I have plenty of videos on this. I'll be putting some videos in the episode details below about the sugar to adrenaline sequence and about carbohydrates. And this is going to give you much more information to tack onto this short video about the correlation between stress hormones and skin health. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please like and subscribe if you found it useful, and let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next. If you want to learn much more about nutrition, especially through the somatic lens and how you can use food to recover from stress and trauma, there's really no better time than now, because I am about to lead a 6-month nutrition group that begins on July 8th. This group meets every week for 6 months, and I will teach you everything from somatic practices to help you be with the emotions that come up around dieting and food, as well as the nutritional biochemical component of protein, carbohydrates, fats, and how to understand instinctive eating in a way that nourishes your body instead of just soothing your emotions. When you bring somatic practices with nutritional ones, you get to eat for nourishment and then learn other ways to hold your emotions and tend to yourself instead of using food that could be detrimental to your health and your balance of your body. For more information about this group, please click on the link below in the episode details, and you have until July 7th to register. I look forward to seeing you in there. I have developed a 4-week self-paced course that takes 18 years of my personal and professional experience and puts it into one place where you can easily and quickly learn the foundations of recovering from stress and trauma. How does the food you eat affect your stress levels? How do the relationships in your life create stress or peace? How does the relationship you have with your body allow you to feel happier and more settled? I will cover all this and so much more in this 4-week self-paced course. And the best part, it's self-paced. You don't have to sign up at a certain date or finish it at a certain time. It's yours for life, and it's waiting there for you when you're ready to finish it. Throughout this course, I'll be teaching you philosophies and practices that combine my 3 favorite modalities: somatic experiencing, embodied parts work, and nutrition. For more information on this course, click on the link in my episode details.